smaller than 25,000 miles, and that's what you find.
Right.
Did we lose you?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
No, they got pictures of they can get up there 37,000 feet and take a nice picture and make maps and
No, but they can't take a picture of the whole entire Earth. They can't do it. Show me one. You can't do it. You can't do it.
37,000 feet off of the Earth is like a hair sitting on a table off of the Earth. That's hardly anything. They, like I said, NASA claims that these high altitude balloons that go, like, remember Felix Baumgartner, the Red Bull jump guy?
Mm-hmm.
Can I share my screen? I got so much shit that I could show you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've never done this before, so bear with me. Let me pull this up here, dude. I got so much shit that's here we go.
Well, you'll never convince me that the Earth is flat. And
I said that. I said the same thing, and it took me about a year. But it's not for everybody, man. It takes a lot, and especially right now, like I said, back when I was getting into this shit, it was like everything was easily accessible. Now it's like, good luck. You got to have somebody who's been in it and knows what they're doing.
What's the matter with believing that right there? Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Red Bull space jump, 127,000 feet, right? So this,
right.
Can you see my mouse here on this river?
Yeah.
So this is a river in New Mexico.
Okay.
That people found it on Google Maps, whatever. That's a river in New Mexico, a very small river. So that means this whole picture of this Earth right here is basically over New Mexico. What they did is, it's a fisheye lens, and they curved it. So, you know, a quarter of the Earth is not New Mexico. That's what this basically is showing right here. It's super easy to see, but then you go into a picture like this. This is 120,000 feet on a weather balloon, and it doesn't look like that. And that's an official picture.
I only see the Red Bull guy still.
Oh, how about there?
Oh, it's back to us. Oh.
It might be.
Better just stick with us.
Well, there is so much proof. See, the problem is it's so hard to believe from just two guys on the internet telling you that it's real. Like when I first, my brother told me about it, and I'm like, dude, you're fucking stupid. You know, yes, we went to the moon. Yes, the Earth is round. You're retarded. But then I had to look into it because I had to prove my brother wrong. And the only thing that I did was found more truth that space shit didn't happen than I found out that it did happen. And I found a hell of a lot of proof that the Earth is flat, but not a huge amount of truth that it's a globe.
Hey, when I fly to Virginia, you're going over a curvature.
No, you're not. You've never seen that.
No, they'll tell you, they tell you straight up that planes is not high enough. Officials from NASA or anywhere will say that, you know, even the Felix, they'll say that that's not high enough to see curvature at that level. They'll tell you straight up. So, I mean, you know, maybe you can go up there and kind of expect to see it and think you might be seeing a slight curve or whatever, but they'll even tell you that that's not high enough to see a curve, and that nobody can really get high enough unless you're a free Masonic astronaut that has the privilege to go up there and do that or whatever. But
right. Or Jeff Bezos.
Have you ever thought about something that I thought about?
I seen it. Okay.
Was you know, the Earth being, if the Earth was a sphere in space, and space is a vacuum, how it breaks the laws of physics to say that the Earth has a pressurized atmosphere and then space is a void vacuum. How can you have a pressurized atmosphere with no barrier? That's like saying you have, you know, I got a tire on my car, it's at 40 psi. I'm going to take the tire off, and there's still going to be 40 psi around the rim. How does that work? How would that work in space? It violates the law of physics. You cannot have a, you know, pressure always finds its, you know, it's,
right.
It would not work.
Well, it's the thing is you got to do research yourself because it's they only tell you what you need to know. So when you start finding things like there's videos out there of pretty expensive rockets flying up into the sky and then just dead stop.
You see that? Yeah. You can hear the sound. You can hear it go boom and hit something.
Just boom, it hits something.
And it's spinning the whole way up. It's spinning, and all of a sudden it hits something and it's still, and it starts dropping down, and it's like, what the hell is that?
Well, the atmosphere that we breathe is only maybe 7 miles thick, and then it turns into you can't breathe because there ain't no air.
Yeah.
And you can't. It's a vacuum even further. So no.
What holds that pressure in if you don't have a barrier? How can you have pressure with no barrier?
Well, you can't have atmosphere without trees and water. So that's the cause of the atmosphere.
Yeah, but
how can you have a round ball?
There's radio. There's nuclear energy that surrounds us also.
There's
from the gravity,
the gravitational pull that don't exist.
So gravity is weak enough to let a butterfly fly around in your backyard, but it's strong enough to hold the atmosphere and keep it from being sucked off the earth into the vacuum of space.
Yes. Because there's nothing up there to collect it. It's going to stay here because this is where the plants are and this is where the oceans are, the waters and everything that we need.
Why it's in space sucking it away?
Because of that gravity pull, that gravitational pull, and the goddamn, what's it called? Radiation belt that keeps us.
No, you're talking about the magnetic field.
Yeah.
So when have you ever observed a magnet holding material down that's non-magnetic? I mean, that's you're saying the magnetic field holds the atmosphere.
You can put a piece of paper on the refrigerator and hold it on with a magnet. Yeah.
You know what has never existed in the history of ever is a spherical magnet. Nobody's ever created one. There's never been one in nature ever. There's never been a magnet that has a north pole and a south pole on a sphere. You can't make one. It doesn't work that way. There's bar magnets and there's horseshoe magnets, but there's nobody has ever created a sphere that has a magnetic flux like they say the Earth does. It doesn't exist.
I don't know what you're talking about because I can take a magnet, flip one of them over, and you can't touch them together.
I'm talking about take a sphere and have somebody observe the magnetic field around that sphere, looking like two lungs, like they show on the Earth. That does not exist. Or like a toroidal field, like a donut around the Earth. When they show you the animation, it looks like a donut wrapped around the Earth. That doesn't exist. Nobody's ever created one of those. That's what they say the Earth has, but that doesn't exist.
Wow.
Yeah,
folks, we're talking to a young man that tonight we're having a great time tonight talking about all kinds of crazy stuff and conspiracies and also fact. What is fact to one person is not fact to another person.
Yeah, because the wizard says no on this.
Facts are facts, man.
Yeah, I mean you have to believe in something. Right, you have to believe in something.
Well, but you can't unbelieve something your eyes saw live. What you think you saw live, but if you look into NASA, they'll tell you that it was on a tape delay shot from Hawaii, not live.
Well, no, not necessarily talking about the moon landing, which I don't know. I think in the next 10, 15 years, you two are going to be proven wrong. But that's just my theory. That's just my theory.
Know. I don't think they'll ever come out and say that because I mean, think about the ramifications of them coming out and saying we fucking lied to you about going to the moon. People will go, we're never trusting shit you say again, which you shouldn't. But They wouldn't. They
If
couldn't.
all the other
Carlin,
planets are
aren't you?
round, and we don't have a piece of evidence that any other planet is flat, it leads me to believe that this one isn't flat either.
Well, I'm not saying that we live on a flat disk in space with planets that are able to be traveled to. You know, what I'm saying is that the realm that we live on, when you look upwards, you see things that we call stars. And when you have amateur astronomers, and there's so many videos and photos of people zooming in on stars, and they look like glowing, fluctuating patterns of light. And planets as well. Like when you look at certain planets, they're just glowing, fluctuating orbs, and it looks just like all the experiments that people do with cymatics and sound and frequency on Earth. People take those plates, those flat magnetic plates, and they'll put a speaker underneath it, and they'll turn a sound frequency on, and they'll pour sand on top of that. And as they turn the frequency and the pitch gets higher and higher, the sand on the plate turns into different shapes. It'll make a bunch of triangular patterns, and then they'll go up higher, and then it'll switch into a bunch of little circular patterns, and it creates basically like a vibrational field on that plate, and the sand morphs into all these crazy patterns and shapes. And when you look up at the stars and you see them vibrating like this, they look like all these weird sound shapes, which is why, I mean, even certain things like the Bible talks about the heavens and the stars.
But they never change. The stars stay the same.
No, I'm saying if you were to take a really high-powered telescope and zoom in on them, you know how stars twinkle? Well, when you zoom in on that twinkle, you'll see that it's like some of them are purple and red and blue, and they're just vibrating.
That's because of what their masses are made of. Our planets that we look at you can tell by the reflection of the sun of what color they are because of what they're made of, what the planet is basically structured with, copper.
It could be a gas.
Zinc.
A gas.
Ours is blue because of the water and the trees. Ours is blue. All the other ones are all different colors. Blue is the aura of life.
Here you go.
Well, I mean, he makes some sense. And here you see in the different pictures of Earth.
The different
from
years,
different perspectives.
The pictures from different years.
So look at 2012, and that's North America right there. And then you got, here 2002. Well, that's North America now. I guess it shrunk. Yeah, but they say that all of images are official NASA photos of Earth as released. Those are their picture. Hey, this is Earth, and it's not a pear. It's not an oblate spheroid. That's a fucking circle. That's like a marble. These are
depends on what angle it's shot from.
Oh, no matter what angle, they got the same angle every time. Then and look at there's North America, and here's Asia. So they're at a different angle. This is Asia. This is North America. So they're at different angles, but they're both spheres. They're all fake as shit.
The two right-hand side on the right, on top, the two on the top.
Yes.
2007, 2097, they look pretty similar.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they have the same two artists do them, but NASA, I'm telling you, go to fucking NASA.gov and they'll tell you that they have
a different angle. And then that other one with North America in it, it was huge because it was right on it. It was like
you won't go to NASA.com and look at the section where it tells you that they fake the Earth picture because they can't create it.
Because they had to, they said.
Well, it's not flat. It can't be flat. And that you can't make anybody believe that. That's like prehistoric.
No, they believe it though. They believe it.
And we're amongst many millions.
There's no proof of any planet being flat, so
there's
therefore
there's no proof of the planets being, material things that you can go to or walk on. I'm not saying that the Earth is flat and that we're in space and all the planets are flat. I'm saying that space is a concept that they created. We live in a realm created by a creator or whatever, and we live in that. And what we see up in the sky is what we see in the sky. And we have NASA that says, here's what's up in the sky in the universe and what's all out there. And I'm saying that NASA's been proven to be fraud so many times on video. I can show you videos of the space station, just complete fraudulent nonsense.
NASA was started by a Nazi war criminal.
Yeah, Werner von Braun, man.
A Nazi fucking war criminal. It started NASA.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there were.
You know who his best friend, one of his best friends was? Werner von Braun. It was Walt Disney.
Yes,
Walt
it was.
Disney.
Absolutely.
They made a show. They put him on his own show. Werner von Braun. He's teaching little kids about rockets and shit. And then you see Disney. What is at the beginning of almost every Disney film and Pixar and Universal? It's the globe. They show you the globe. And
Universal Pictures, the globe.
Yeah, Universal. Every Disney movie, there's a globe in there somewhere. Or there's space movies.
If you look back in time, you'll find textbooks from the 1800s that depict the Earth as flat. That they were teaching the kids that the Earth was flat.
Yep.
In the 1800s.
I've seen interviews from old, really old people.
Not possible.
Older than you guys. That like this woman was like 100 years old, and she was saying when she was in school, they taught her that, you know, the concept of space did not even come about until the 1800s, like the late 1800s. That wasn't even a concept. Space and the ball and then all of a sudden they started flushing fucking Lost in Space at you. The Jetsons,
Star Trek, everything.
Yep, Star Wars, and that's, you know.
And then that would defeat your purpose of being the Arctic Circle at the northern pole, being frozen. If the sun went around it so close and was all burning up and shit.
You're right. Think about it. The Arctic Circle, the sun goes around there, and the North Pole is lush and green. Not the North Pole, but the northern hemisphere is where most of the life on Earth is. The southern hemisphere, it's void of life. There's no life in Antarctica, and if it was a ball, that would heat up just as much as the northern hemisphere, which it doesn't. If it's like I showed right here, the sun has to go all the way around the whole thing, so none of it has time to heat up or get warm enough. So there's no life down there.
No, because the planet Earth orbits, it's like on a gyro. The whole space thing is a gyro. And we're going around the fucking sun spinning, and the closer we get to the sun, it takes 365 days a year to go around the sun, and then it goes oblong. It's not a complete perfect circle.
Why can't it be 365 days for the Earth?
And also the Earth shifts on its axis to give it winter and spring and fall. And as far as the reflection coming off the sun hitting the Earth. So no, you're pretty much wrong on that. Flat Earth is pretty
scientific research. He won't do any research because he was shown in 1969 and he was taught in school that was done. So he will not do any research.
Look at this, folks. This is an awesome show tonight. Look at this. We're getting graphics and shit. We're getting graphics, if you want to believe that. Look at this shit.
So
there's the sun.
So there's the sun.
That's
right?
summer.
So they say that we orbit in an elliptical pattern, so it's kind of like an egg, like this right here. So in the northern hemisphere where we are, so you know, North America is you know, right here.
Okay.
When North America is tilted towards the sun, we are farther away in the summer. And then when North America is tilted away from the sun, we're closer, but that's our winter. That's the way it works, according to their model.
No, I'm sorry. You're the other way around.
Nope. You would think. Yep. You would think, but it's not.
Because it's summertime on the southern equator, past that. And not to mention, when I was on the ship, I flushed the toilet in the northern hemisphere, and it went counterclockwise, and then I flushed it again, and on the other side of the equator, and it went counterclockwise. There's a proof for this.
That's the Coriolis effect. I flushed my toilet the other day and it got fucking clogged and the shit went all over the floor.
Well, see how you are?
But that's complete bullshit, because you can go down to the equator and they have a line set up on the equator with some Mexican or whatever saying he's got a sink on one side and a sink on the other side of this line, saying that if I pour water in this sink, it'll go counterclockwise, and if I pour it in this sink, it'll go clockwise. And it's like, do you really think that fine little line where he's standing is the division of which way the water spins? It's all a show. You go there and you give him $2 to watch him pour some shit Mexican water down a sink, and it's the way the sink is designed. There's toilets in North America that flush clockwise, and you can buy a toilet that'll flush counterclockwise.
There's toilets that will shoot some water up your asshole, man.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm talking about
I love a bidet.
if you got a full sink and you pull the plunge on it, it'll go in a counterclockwise down the hill. That's kind of like and if you're in the southern hemisphere, it'll go counterclockwise. It's the magnetic poles that keeps the atmosphere here too that we breathe. And they know how big the Antarctic is. It's not huge. They have the shape. They have a map of the Antarctic.
I'm halfway in this, okay? I'm halfway in this. You've all noticed that I've been rather quiet tonight, okay? And I've been taking some of this in.
Taking it in, man.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm thinking here is that, there's some truth to what you're saying. Okay. Well, I mean, they've got a good argument.
There's so much more, man.
I don't think they got an argument. I think they have a thought, but it's not an argument.
So scientific evidence is not an argument.
No, I'm talking scientific facts.
What Mr. Biden?
Logic. And there's no logic in that.
Yeah, you just know the facts that you've been taught.
No. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Oh no, you see shit. You. I'm telling you, you did too much LSD back in fucking the Navy. They should do a fucking award.
So okay, now we're gonna go to the obvious question: are UFOs for real or what?
Nope. No, it's all. So in my opinion, the moon landing, if you get into why would they fake the moon landing, in my opinion, the whole, from the late 50s with the Russians all the way up to today, the moon landing was just so that they could say that they got out there to the moon, they could turn around and take that picture of that ball Earth and say, look, there's where you are, and we're out here on the moon. The Earth is a sphere in space, and we live on a spinning ball hurtling through insignificant space. And there's no God, there's no creator. Just go butt fuck and be happy.
Do you notice? No. But do you notice? Listen, he makes a good point there. Do you notice after the moon landing, the world started being fucking dirty and pedophiles and all this nasty shit because people stopped fearing God because NASA was showing them that God was lying. It
was all a big lie.
Yeah,
it's all a big lie. King, you guys ain't on. You guys don't have your cameras on, FreeKing. King.
Yeah, we
no
do.
camera.
Yeah, I can see them all.
I can see them all. You did something.
Yeah, I can see me.
I didn't touch nothing.
I can see all three of yous.
I can too.
It's the Coriolis effect. We slid off the fucking screen.
That's because we're on the northern equator. We're going this other way, and you're like, it's But here's a fun question: have you ever seen the moon and the sun in the sky at the same time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that can't happen. That's not allowed.
No, it can. It can because, like I said,
because the moon goes slower around the Earth than the Earth goes around in a circle.
The moon and the sun start out at roughly the same speed, but then the sun's going faster and eventually it catches up. So you do have those periods of time where you'll catch them in the sky at the same time. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen the sun.
The moon is revolving around the Earth, and every night it's a half hour back. So like if it's 8 o'clock, it's here. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock, it'll be over here. And it keeps going like that until goes. Sometimes we have no moon at all.
Yeah, a new moon. It's called a new moon. Have you ever thought about why, we only see the one face of the moon, correct?
And that proves right there that it's round.
No. If the moon is going around the Earth, what they say is that the same face of the moon is facing us. So the moon is rotating, but it's rotating at the perfect speed to where we only see the one side of it. And the odds of that are 1 in quadrillions. But that moon, if the moon was like a 0.00001 miles an hour off over 10 years, you'd start to see a little sliver more of the backside or whatever, and it would gradually, but it's so perfect that even in ancient times, they show the same picture of the moon, the same depiction. We've never seen any other face of the moon. And if it's orbiting around the Earth and all these crazy motions and all this crazy shit, then, eventually.
In Russia and China, they see the other side of the moon.
Bullshit.
Oh, they do not.
No,
they see the same side.
They see the same side. The moon does not spin.
You better stop watching Discovery Channel.
They say it spins, but it spins at the perfect rate to keep facing us. And if, like I said, if it was off a fraction of a second, it wouldn't. And that's another thing that brings you into satellites. So all these satellites, they say they launch up into space. So what they tell you is that most of the satellites from the 80s and 90s are what they're using today for DirecTV and all that bullshit, which is complete nonsense. Satellites have no means of propulsion. There's no jets or boosters or nothing on satellites to allow them to move. They say they rely on communication from Earth, and once they launch them up there, they're up there and they get locked into an orbit and they go where they go. So they tell us that certain satellites are locked over a certain part of the Earth. So when they launch a satellite up over North America, as the Earth spins, that satellite stays directly over the spot that they launched it in, and it never fades forward, backward, or goes out. So what that would mean is they have to launch that satellite up into space and get the speed exactly right. I mean, within millimiles per hour. Otherwise, if they were off by 1 mile per hour, after, like I said, 10 years, that satellite would be over Australia or something. It wouldn't stay where it's at because they can't boost or move around or do anything. And every single one, apparently, they got it right. Just like all the other shit they put into space. Look at the space station, the International Space Station. Find me a video of them building that. The greatest achievement of mankind, the International Space Station. Find me a video of them constructing it or flying shit up there and locking it into place and screwing the bolts in. There's nothing. No videos of that shit. It's been there over 20 years. And all you see is these cocksuckers up there floating around in khakis, playing guitar and showing you how they squeeze toothpaste and shit. And look at, we're NASA. They get $58 million a day for that. And it's all been proven to be green screen or the parabolic flights are cut and edited footage and CGI. It's all fake shit. They've been cut and busted thousands of times. All fake.
Thousands of times.
Fuck.
Who just did that?
Who just did that?
That was cum stain. I know.
I did that.
I did that. Did you do that?
He figured it out. Now we're all in trouble. Oh, we got new ones now. But anyways, you're not going to ever believe anything until you figure it out for yourself. That one's stupid.
Yeah, it is.
You don't see this one on the air. We made the mistake one time of we recorded the show with something like this and we were doing stupid shit, and then when we played it back, all this background shit wasn't there. So we looked like a bunch of tards, and
Looks real to me, man.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I saw it on my screen. That shit's real.
Hell, Anthony, you hung out for 1 hour and 45 fucking minutes, dude.
Yeah.
Look at the old miser.
Well,
I could go all night, man.
Yeah, I know you
It was interesting, but it was just interesting.
It was just interesting. But like I'll tell you 1,000 times, you're never going to believe it until you believe it, and you got to do the looking up yourself. And
well, I can see that.
You know, thousands of hours of research, man.
It's like if I quit smoking, I quit smoking. You know, if I believe in it. But you know.
You know that big tobacco gives the biggest donation to the Cancer Institute technology, the cancer research, and all that.
But it sounds like a cult, kind of like a cult. You have to be in a cult.
What, NASA? Yeah, it does.
I don't think I need to join any.
Well, there's nothing cult about it. It's just people going out and actually taking what they say and their claims, saying, okay, does this logically make sense? And where's the evidence for it? And they provide nothing. There's no evidence.
When you look, they have the same beliefs, and I've never met him until today, and we never are part of some society or something. It's just, you know,
like I said, there's
that's too far. It's way too far fetched.
It's right. It's so hard for your mind to believe what you were. Your mind is so indoctrinated. All of our minds are so indoctrinated with what the elite or whatever you want to call them have thrown upon us for hundreds of thousands of years. It's so hard to believe the truth.
What's the first thing they show you when you go to kindergarten? They show you the globe and they teach you all the
that one. We have that one space vehicle that's going beyond our solar system. It's still cruising out there, and it's like it's taking pictures of our galaxy, other galaxies, and there's no way that anything's flat out there.
No,
it's kind of like
out there.
I know Stanley Kubrick would be proud of all the work they've done.
Yeah,
you know, and they know that the sun doesn't move. It moves, but it doesn't move in our solar system. I mean, it doesn't go around our solar system. It's pretty much the solid object. And everything else goes around it. It's a force.
There's no proof of that. Just like there's no proof that your mustache didn't go out of style in 1895.
You got a screen share, or does it not work with your?
Yeah, we see it.
So the Earth, to keep up with the sun as it goes around, and the sun's moving 660,000 miles an hour. So
I just lost everybody. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
That's all right. We're good.
The Earth would have to speed up and then slow down as it goes around that sun, but you don't feel any of those motions.
Right.
No.
That's a crazy visual to think of. I mean, if you think that they say that's their explanation, the sun's moving that fast and the Earth is moving that fast. So
and it's all moving through the galaxy.
Yeah. So the Earth would have to start moving faster than the sun to catch up with it, and then slow down to go behind it. I mean, you know, a change in speed like that, it's go fly up in an F-18 or something and pull 7 Gs and tell me what it feels like.
Yeah.
And you're talking, you know, way more than that on a model like that.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
it looks interesting.
I'm off to everybody. Everybody's off. Try a different one.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Listen,
we put you on time.
We've beaten this one to death. Okay. And I want to thank our guest. Thank you for bringing that in here, Anthony. We really appreciate it, brother. I really do dig it. You know, you got to believe in something, and I believe that you believe. And I, you know what? I got no proof that you're wrong. I haven't been able to come up with anything to prove you wrong. So you know, thanks for coming on the show tonight. It made it very interesting. Guido, you got anything? We got about 2 minutes.
No, man. I'm just glad to see somebody else. And I'm from New York. He's from, you know, I don't know if you want to, you know, where you live, St. Louis, but people on opposite ends of the, you know, United States here, fucking with the same beliefs. You know, there's truth to it. Just look for it. I mean, and come to your own conclusion. Don't just rely on what you saw with your fucking jaded eyes before.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. And now, knee scab, you go ahead one more time.
What about what?
About anything. You got something on your mind? Say it. You got 2 minutes.
No, I'm good. I'm good. You know, hey, you know, I mean, you got to believe what you want to believe, and we never get nothing solved on here, so it's all good, you know.
They're never going to solve it.
Nothing solved. It's just about
that's all right.
Putting your mind for possibilities and stop believing everything that Walter Cronkite told you, because he worked for the enemy. The news media has always lied to us for ages. I mean,
yeah, they have
for ages,
for a long time.
Yeah.
The Kennedy assassination.
So good luck with those thoughts. Good luck with those thoughts. But I think you'll come around when pretty soon here. It's gonna come out in the wash. It'll all come out. Yeah, I probably won't see it, but I'm pretty much.
I don't think any of us will see it, man. I don't think
you'll never find a flat earther that goes back.
Yeah. You don't. Yeah. You're right. And that's so funny that you say that, because now everything that I try to go back with a different open mind, which you can't, and be like, why did I ever believe this other way in the first place? And just the thing about it was just because they told me that it was true. They didn't show me it. They just told me that it was true, and I believed it. And my mom believed it, and my dad and my grandpa, and my dad was born in the 50s, so he was all into space and all this. And to me, I remember watching in the 80s in school, watching the shuttle explode, and then
listen,
investigate that, find out they're all still alive. But
when I was growing up, the most scientific I got was Lost in Space and the Twilight Zone. And what was that other black and white TV show? Not the Twilight Zone, but what the hell was the name of that TV show? The Outer Limits.
Oh yeah.
I remember
the
that.
Outer Limits. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's the so-called dead space crew.
Yep.
Yeah.
They all had twins.
Yeah, they did. They really did. And it's a shame. And I remember that travesty. And then we had to cancel the space program after that. Why? Because people were starting to catch on again. And when public starts to catch on to things, we got to fix it. And it was easier to fix then than it is to fix now.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Because there's real time now. Real time information now can go out.
You can freeze shit, edit and look at it and analyze it. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
We have gone past our deadline, so we're gonna say adios. Anthony, again, thank you so much, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
I appreciate you guys having me on anytime.
Okay. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk after we're done. But just hang in there a minute. And thank you all for joining us tonight. I hope you learned something. And you can catch this on YouTube, the video version of this on YouTube. And you can go to Spotify. You can get us on pretty much anywhere you want to go. Okay. So check it out. And better yet, just go to our webpage and turn it on. Okay. All right. Thanks for listening tonight. Y'all have a good night. Thank you all. Peace out.
And hold on, let me stop recording before we talk shit.